My dear friends, there is a divine law within you that knows no lack, no limitation, and no delay. The infinite intelligence that created this universe is the same power that flows through your mind right now. When you align your thoughts with abundance, when you feel the reality of wealth and success within your soul, you activate a sacred stream, a divine overflow of money and success. This is not wishful thinking, it is spiritual law. What you impress upon your subconscious mind must be expressed in your life. Today you will awaken to that truth. The subconscious mind is the silent, tireless servant within you, always listening, always receiving, always acting upon the impressions you give it. It does not argue, it does not question, it does not judge whether a thought is good or bad, true or false. It simply accepts what you feel to be true and sets into motion the unseen forces that bring it into your experience. When you begin to understand this profound truth, you realize that your outer world is nothing more than the reflection of your inner convictions. When you deliberately and consciously choose to accept abundance as your reality, you are planting a seed in the deepest layers of your mind. This seed, once impressed with feeling and repetition, must grow. It cannot do otherwise, for it is governed by universal law. Just as a seed planted in fertile soil grows into a tree according to its nature, so too does the idea of abundance, once accepted by your subconscious, expand and manifest in every area of your life. Many people struggle financially not because the world is lacking, but because they have unknowingly conditioned their subconscious mind to accept limitation, fear, and scarcity as truth. They repeat thoughts such as, money is hard to earn, I never have enough, or success is for others, not for me. These ideas, impressed again and again with emotion, become accepted patterns within the subconscious. And because the subconscious mind is faithful, it produces circumstances that match these beliefs. The moment you begin to reverse this inner conditioning, everything begins to change. When you affirm with conviction, I am aligned with the infinite source of abundance, or wealth flows to me in expected and unexpected ways, you are not merely speaking words. You are giving instructions to the creative power within you. If these words are repeated with feeling, with quiet confidence, and with persistence, they sink into the subconscious mind and begin to take root. It is not enough to say these things casually or with doubt. The subconscious responds to feeling, to belief, to the emotional intensity behind your thoughts. You must feel the reality of abundance as though it already exists within you. You must imagine what it is like to live in a state of financial freedom, to feel secure, to feel generous, to feel at peace. When you do this, you are not pretending, you are activating a deeper level of truth that exists beyond appearances. The subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined. If you consistently imagine yourself as prosperous, successful, and supported by infinite supply, your subconscious accepts this as reality and begins to orchestrate conditions, opportunities, and ideas that align with this inner picture. This is why visualization, affirmation, and gratitude are not mere techniques, but powerful tools for transformation. You may not see immediate results, and this is where many people falter. They plant the seed, but then they dig it up with doubt, impatience, and fear. They wonder if it is working. They question the process, and in doing so, they impress the subconscious with uncertainty. But the law is precise. Whatever you impress upon your subconscious, whether faith or doubt, abundance or lack, must be expressed. To accept abundance as reality requires a quiet, steady faith. It is a decision you make within yourself, regardless of outer conditions. Even if your current situation appears limited, you do not allow appearances to dictate your belief. Instead, you recognize that appearances are the result of past thoughts, and that by changing your inner state now, you are creating a new future. There is a profound peace that comes when you truly accept abundance as your nature. You no longer chase money with anxiety or desperation. Instead, you know that you are connected to an infinite source that cannot be depleted. You begin to act with confidence, to make decisions from a place of trust, and to expect good in all areas of your life. This expectation itself becomes a magnet, drawing to you the people, opportunities, and ideas that correspond to your belief. Gratitude plays a powerful role in this process. When you give thanks for abundance, even before it fully appears, you are affirming its reality in your subconscious mind. You are saying, in effect, this is already mine, this is already true. And the subconscious, accepting this feeling of gratitude as evidence, moves to bring it into form. Gratitude dissolves resistance, replaces fear with faith, and aligns your entire being with the flow of prosperity. It is also important to guard your mind against negative influences. The world may speak of recession, lack, competition, and struggle, but you are not bound to accept these ideas. You have the power to choose what you believe. When you hear something that contradicts your vision of abundance, you gently reject it and reaffirm your truth. You remind yourself that your supply comes from an infinite source, not from circumstances or conditions. The subconscious mind thrives on repetition and consistency. Each day, as you quietly affirm abundance, as you visualize your success, as you feel the joy of prosperity within you, you are strengthening a new pattern. This pattern, once firmly established, becomes automatic. You no longer have to struggle to believe in abundance. It becomes your natural state. In this state, you begin to notice subtle changes. Ideas come to you more easily. Opportunities appear at the right time. People are drawn to you, and doors begin to open. What once seemed difficult now feels natural. You are not forcing these things to happen. You are allowing them. You are cooperating with a law that is always working, always responding, always creating according to your inner blueprint. There is no limit to what the subconscious mind can do when it is aligned with the idea of abundance. It connects you with infinite intelligence, guiding you, inspiring you, and revealing the perfect steps to take. It does not rely on chance or luck, but on a deeper order that governs all creation. As you continue to accept abundance as your reality, you will find that your entire relationship with money and success changes. You no longer see them as distant goals or uncertain outcomes, but as natural expressions of your inner state. You understand that the outer world must conform to the inner, and that by mastering your thoughts and feelings, you are mastering your life. This is the great secret. The subconscious mind accepts what you believe to be true, and it works ceaselessly to make it so. When you give it the idea of abundance, sustained with faith and feeling, it has no choice but to express that abundance in form, in ways that are often beyond your imagination, in ways that are perfectly suited to your path, in ways that reveal the infinite generosity of the universe working through you and for you. Wealth is not merely coins, currency, or numbers on a screen. It is a living expression of the same infinite intelligence that governs the stars, the oceans, and the beating of your heart. This intelligence is not separate from you. It flows through your thoughts, your imagination, and your awareness, waiting to be directed, shaped, and expressed. When you begin to understand that wealth is a divine expression, you no longer see it as something external to chase, but as something internal to awaken. The universe operates on principles of harmony, order, and expansion. Everything in nature grows, unfolds, and multiplies according to its inherent design. A seed does not struggle to become a tree. It simply follows the pattern impressed within it. In the same way, the idea of wealth exists within you as a pattern of divine intelligence. When you recognize this, you stop resisting prosperity and begin to align yourself with the natural flow of increase. Many people have been conditioned to believe that wealth is material, limited, or even unspiritual. They have been taught that there is virtue in lack, or that abundance belongs only to a select few. These beliefs create inner conflict, causing the mind to reject the very thing it desires. But wealth, in its true essence, is neither good nor bad. It is an expression of energy, an extension of creativity, and a manifestation of divine order. When you remove false beliefs and see wealth as part of the universal design, you restore balance within your mind. Infinite intelligence expresses itself through ideas. Every invention, every enterprise, every form of progress began as a thought within the mind of an individual. These ideas are not created in isolation. They are received from a deeper source. When your mind is calm, receptive, and open, you become a channel for this intelligence. You begin to receive insights, inspirations, and solutions that lead to wealth and success. Your role is not to force wealth into existence, but to cooperate with the intelligence that already knows how to produce it. This cooperation begins with recognition. When you acknowledge that there is an infinite source within you, capable of guiding and providing for you, you shift from fear to trust. This trust allows the flow of ideas and opportunities to reach you without resistance. The feeling of worthiness is essential in this process. If you believe, even subtly, that you do not deserve wealth, you create a barrier within your subconscious mind. This barrier prevents the free expression of abundance. But when you accept that you are an individual expression of universal intelligence, you understand that wealth is not something you must earn through struggle alone. It is something you are designed to experience as part of your growth and expansion. As you begin to think of wealth as divine, your relationship with it changes. You no longer view money as something scarce or competitive. Instead, you see it as a symbol of circulation, a means through which value is exchanged and life is enriched. This perspective removes fear and replaces it with a sense of ease and flow. You become more generous, more open, and more aligned with the principle of giving and receiving. Giving is a powerful act that reflects your understanding of abundance. When you give freely, without fear of loss, you affirm that your supply is not limited. You declare through your actions that you trust the infinite source within you. This trust activates the law of circulation, ensuring that what you give returns to you in multiplied form. It is not the amount that matters, but the consciousness behind the act. Your thoughts about wealth must be consistent with the idea of divine expression. If you think of money as difficult to obtain or easy to lose, you contradict the nature of infinite intelligence, which is always expanding and expressing itself fully. Instead, you cultivate thoughts of ease, flow, and increase. You remind yourself that the same power that creates galaxies is capable of creating abundance in your life. Imagination plays a vital role in aligning with this truth. When you imagine yourself living in prosperity, contributing to the world, and enjoying the fruits of your success, you are tuning your mind to the frequency of abundance. These images, when held with feeling and conviction, become instructions to your subconscious mind. They shape your actions, influence your decisions, and attract corresponding experiences. There is also a deep sense of responsibility that comes with understanding wealth as a divine expression. It is not about accumulation for its own sake, but about participation in the greater flow of life. Wealth allows you to create, to support, to uplift, and to expand your influence in meaningful ways. When you see it in this light, you approach it with respect, clarity, and purpose. Doubt and fear may arise, especially if you have been conditioned to think differently for many years. These thoughts are simply old patterns, seeking to maintain their hold. You do not fight them with force, you replace them with truth. Each time you affirm that wealth is a natural expression of infinite intelligence, you weaken the old belief and strengthen the new one. The outer world may not immediately reflect this shift, but the process is always at work. Beneath the surface, your subconscious mind is reorganizing your habits, your perceptions, and your actions. It is guiding you toward opportunities that align with your new understanding. You may feel inspired to learn something new, to take a different path, or to connect with certain people. These impulses are not random. They are the intelligence within you leading you toward greater expression. Patience is not passive waiting. It is confident expectation. It is the quiet knowing that what you have accepted as true within your mind must eventually appear in your experience. You remain steady in your belief regardless of appearances, because you understand the law behind the process. As this awareness deepens, you begin to experience wealth, not just in material form, but in every aspect of your life. You feel richer in ideas, in relationships, in opportunities, and in inner peace. This holistic sense of abundance reinforces your belief, creating a powerful cycle of growth and expression. You are not separate from the source of wealth. You are an expression of it. The intelligence that creates all things is seeking to express itself through you in unique and meaningful ways. When you align your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with this truth, you allow that expression to unfold naturally, effortlessly, and continuously, revealing new levels of prosperity, insight, and expansion that reflect the boundless nature of the intelligence within you. Feeling is the secret language through which your inner world communicates with the infinite creative power within you. Thoughts may plant the seed, but it is feeling that gives it life, energy, and direction. When you understand this, you realize that merely thinking about prosperity is not enough. You must feel it, embody it, and experience it within yourself as though it already exists. The subconscious mind responds not to empty words, but to the emotional conviction behind them. Every feeling you entertain becomes a signal, a vibration that reaches into the unseen realm and sets corresponding forces into motion. When you feel worry, fear, or lack, you unknowingly attract conditions that reflect those states. But when you cultivate the feeling of prosperity, of security, of joy and abundance, you align yourself with the very essence of wealth. This alignment is not forced. It is a natural consequence of your inner state. To feel prosperous does not mean you must have visible proof in your surroundings. In fact, the true power lies in your ability to generate the feeling independently of external conditions. This is where transformation begins. When you can sit quietly and feel grateful, fulfilled, and abundant, even if your current circumstances suggest otherwise, you are exercising a higher level of awareness. You are choosing truth over appearance. The subconscious mind accepts feeling as reality. It does not distinguish between what is physically present and what is vividly experienced within. If you consistently feel the joy of financial freedom, the peace of having more than enough, and the confidence of success, your subconscious begins to accept these feelings as facts. Once accepted, it works ceaselessly to express them in your outer world. Many people attempt to attract wealth by repeating affirmations without emotion. They say the right words, but inside they feel doubt, impatience, or disbelief. This creates a contradiction, and the subconscious responds to the stronger influence, which is usually the feeling. Words without feeling are like seeds scattered on dry ground. They lack the nourishment needed to grow. But when words are infused with genuine emotion, they become powerful commands to the creative mind. You can begin to cultivate the feeling of prosperity by using your imagination. Imagine yourself already living the life you desire. See the details, hear the sounds, and most importantly, feel the emotions associated with that reality. Feel the relief of financial ease, the joy of giving freely, the confidence of knowing you are supported. Allow yourself to become absorbed in this experience, even if only for a few moments each day. At first, this may feel unfamiliar or even artificial, especially if you have been accustomed to thinking in terms of limitation. But persistence is key. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Over time, the feeling of prosperity begins to take root within you, replacing old patterns of fear and doubt. What once felt like imagination begins to feel like truth. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to generate the feeling of prosperity. When you give thanks for what you have and for what is on its way, you shift your focus from lack to abundance. Gratitude creates a sense of fullness, a recognition that you are already receiving. This feeling, once impressed upon the subconscious, attracts more experiences that match it. It is important to guard your emotional state throughout the day. External events, conversations, and influences can easily pull you back into feelings of worry or scarcity. When this happens, you gently bring your awareness back to the feeling you wish to cultivate. You remind yourself that your inner state is the true cause, and that by maintaining the feeling of prosperity, you are shaping your future. The body also plays a role in this process. Your posture, your breathing, and your overall demeanor can influence how you feel. When you carry yourself with confidence, when you breathe deeply and calmly, you support the feeling of abundance. You begin to embody prosperity not just in your mind, but in your entire being. There is a quiet certainty that develops when you consistently feel prosperous. You no longer react with fear to financial challenges or uncertainties. Instead, you remain centered, knowing that your inner state is the true source of your supply. This calm confidence allows you to make better decisions, to see opportunities where others see obstacles, and to act with clarity and purpose. The law behind this process is exact and unchanging. Like attracts like. Your dominant feeling attracts conditions that correspond to it. This is not a matter of chance or coincidence, but of principle. When you understand this, you take responsibility for your emotional state, knowing that it is the key to your experience. There may be moments when old feelings resurface, especially during times of stress or uncertainty. This is natural. These feelings are simply remnants of past conditioning. You do not need to resist them with force. You acknowledge them and then gently replace them with the feeling you choose to cultivate. Each time you do this, you strengthen your new pattern. As the feeling of prosperity becomes more established within you, you begin to notice changes in your outer world. Opportunities arise, ideas come to you, and circumstances begin to shift. These changes may seem subtle at first, but they are the direct result of your inner transformation. You are not forcing these outcomes. You are allowing them by aligning with the feeling of abundance. The beauty of this principle is that it places the power entirely within you. You are not dependent on external conditions, other people, or random events. You have the ability to generate the feeling of prosperity at any moment, and in doing so, you activate the process of manifestation. This realization brings a sense of freedom, a knowing that you are the creator of your experience. Your feelings are not to be taken lightly. They are the bridge between the visible and the invisible, between thought and form. When you choose to feel prosperous, you are choosing to align with a higher reality, one that transcends temporary appearances. You are declaring through your inner state that abundance is your truth. As you continue to practice this, the feeling of prosperity becomes your natural state. You no longer have to remind yourself. It becomes automatic. You wake up with a sense of expectation, you move through your day with confidence, and you rest in the knowing that you are supported. This consistent emotional state acts as a magnet, drawing to you the people, resources, and opportunities that reflect your inner world. In this way, feeling prosperity is not just a step in the process, it is the process itself. It is the means by which the invisible, by which the unseen becomes seen, and by which your inner convictions take form in the world around you, shaping your reality in precise accordance with the emotions you consistently choose to entertain and embody within yourself. There is an infinite supply of wealth, opportunity, and success that exists beyond what the eyes can see or the senses can measure. This supply is not limited by economies, circumstances, or competition. It is rooted in the very fabric of existence, flowing continuously and abundantly through the universe. The key to accessing this infinite supply lies not in external striving alone, but in understanding that your beliefs act as the gateway through which this abundance enters your life. Your dominant beliefs are the silent architects of your reality. They shape your expectations, influence your decisions, and determine how you interpret the world around you. Whether you are aware of them or not, these beliefs operate constantly, directing your thoughts and actions in subtle yet powerful ways. When your dominant belief is that supply is limited, that resources are scarce, or that success is difficult to attain, you unknowingly close yourself off from the vast abundance that surrounds you. The mind functions like a filter, allowing in only that which aligns with its deeply held convictions. If you believe that opportunities are rare, you may overlook them even when they are right before you. If you believe that wealth is hard to maintain, you may unconsciously act in ways that lead to loss or instability. These patterns are not a reflection of reality itself, but of the beliefs you have accepted as truth. To open yourself to infinite supply, you must begin by examining and transforming these beliefs. This does not require force or struggle, but awareness and intention. You become conscious of the ideas you have accepted about money, success, and opportunity. You notice the thoughts that arise automatically, especially in moments of decision or challenge. In doing so, you bring these hidden patterns into the light, where they can be reshaped. When you deliberately choose to adopt beliefs that align with abundance, you initiate a powerful shift within your subconscious mind. You begin to affirm with quiet confidence that there is always more than enough, that opportunities are constantly unfolding, and that success is a natural outcome of your alignment with universal principles. These beliefs, when repeated and felt deeply, begin to replace the old patterns of limitation. The subconscious mind, once impressed with these new beliefs, starts to work in your favor. It adjusts your perception, allowing you to see possibilities that were previously invisible. It influences your behavior, guiding you toward actions that support your growth and prosperity. It even affects how others respond to you, as your confidence and expectation create a different kind of presence. Belief is not merely intellectual agreement. It is a deep inner knowing that shapes your emotional and mental state. When you truly believe in infinite supply, you feel a sense of security that is not dependent on current conditions. You are no longer easily shaken by temporary setbacks or external fluctuations. Instead, you remain steady, trusting that the flow of abundance is constant and that any interruption is only temporary. This trust allows you to act with clarity and purpose. You are more willing to take inspired action, to explore new opportunities, and to invest in your growth. You do not act out of desperation or fear, but confidence and expectation. This difference in approach often leads to entirely different outcomes, as your actions are aligned with a belief in success rather than a fear of failure. There is also a natural sense of openness that comes with believing in infinite supply. You become less guarded, less fearful of loss, and more willing to share and collaborate. This openness creates a cycle of giving and receiving that enhances your experience of abundance. As you give, you reinforce your belief that there is always more, and this belief in turn attracts further opportunities for growth and success. Doubt may still arise, especially when faced with challenges or uncertainties. These moments are opportunities to reaffirm your beliefs, to return to the understanding that your supply is not dependent on any single situation. You remind yourself that the source of your abundance is infinite, and that it can express itself in countless ways. This perspective prevents you from becoming attached to specific outcomes, allowing you to remain flexible and receptive. Your environment, including the people you interact with and the information you consume, can influence your beliefs. It is important to surround yourself with ideas and influences that support your vision of abundance. This does not mean ignoring reality, but choosing to focus on possibilities rather than limitations. You seek out examples of success, stories of growth, and evidence of opportunity, allowing these to reinforce your belief in what is possible. Consistency is essential in this process. A single moment of belief is not enough to override years of conditioning. You must return to your chosen beliefs regularly, affirming them, feeling them, and acting in accordance with them. Over time, they become your dominant patterns, replacing the old ideas that once held you back. As your belief in infinite supply strengthens, you begin to experience a shift not only in your external circumstances, but in your inner world. You feel more at ease, more confident, and more aligned with your purpose. You no longer see yourself as competing for limited resources, but as participating in an ever-expanding field of opportunity. This shift in perception often leads to creative insights and innovative ideas. When you are not constrained by the belief in limitation, your mind becomes more open and flexible. You're able to think in new ways, to approach problems with fresh perspectives, and to discover solutions that others may overlook. These insights can become the foundation for new ventures, new streams of income, and new forms of success. There is a quiet power in holding a belief that is rooted in truth rather than appearance. Even when external conditions seem to contradict your belief, you remain anchored in your understanding of infinite supply. This steadiness allows you to navigate challenges with resilience and to maintain your focus on long-term growth. The law that governs this process is impartial and consistent. It responds to your beliefs without judgment, bringing into your experience that which you accept as true. When your dominant belief is aligned with abundance, the law must respond accordingly. It has no choice but to reflect your inner conviction in the outer world. As you continue to cultivate and reinforce your belief in infinite supply, you find that opportunities begin to appear in unexpected ways. Doors open where there were none before, connections form naturally, and resources become available at the right time. These experiences further strengthen your belief, creating a cycle of expansion and growth. You come to understand that you are not separate from the source of supply, but an expression of it. The same intelligence that sustains the universe is active within you, guiding and supporting your journey. When your beliefs are aligned with this truth, you allow that intelligence to express itself fully, bringing into your life a continuous flow of money, success, and opportunity that reflects the limitless nature of the source from which it originates.